be fair, America is much safer than where I live, and still Americans get really worked up about the idea of someone breaking into their house and then just blasting people. It really does. Sorry for opening on the heavy stuff, but it really does make you think democracy is a mistake because people want the perception of safety, not safety itself. There are people today who, like boomers, who are terrified of New York City or whatever, but they reminisce about the 1980s. It's insane. There are people in their 50s and 60s, and they're like, yep, America isn't what it used to be. It's a lot more dangerous out here. My brother in Christ, you were around during the high point. You were around, yeah, it was Mad Max out there, and not just in New York City. People, it's just people's whims. Growing up, locking your door was seen as anti-gentrification. Can I give you guys a hot take that you're not going to like? We all need to go back to not locking our doors. Everyone just has to agree to it at the same time so that nobody is the one guy who doesn't do it. Because here's my take. If somebody wants to break into your house, they'll just break in. Like, there are tools you can use to break into a house immediately, even if the door is locked. It's not that hard, you know? If they really want to get in, they'll get in. My take is that the only people who are being deterred by locking your door are when, like, drunks and addicts just try your door at 3:23 a.m. and then wobble off when it doesn't work. And my thought is, like, if we just all unlock our doors at night for a couple of weeks, all those people will die because they'll be shot after they succeed in opening the door and coming in, and the inevitable happens. You know, like, they'll all get America'd. And then we won't have a problem anymore. And then we'll all be fine. This happens in Sweden, I'm sure. Nah, Unc got the 19th century pajamas on. Yes, he does, and they feel good. It's literally happened to me like 3 times in 4 years. They always just go away. Yeah, but, like, they shouldn't do that, though. You know? Your purge takes are so much better than your weed takes. Goddamn. Everyone would just feel a lot safer if all the unsafe people died, you know? Vote for me. I'm on the Republican ticket. I'm kind of being serious though. We all gotta the locking your door is the most illusory show of safety imaginable. If somebody wants in, they can get in, you know? It's like isn't it, and again, I'm sorry for, like, you know, going on about this. Why the fuck do doors have 2 locks? What theoretical home invader is going to be deterred by 2 locks but not by 1, you know? Like, they've got they're willing to exert the effort to break through 1 lock, but then there's, oh fuck, a second lock is preventing me from getting through here. One that is dog shit at lockpicking. Is lockpicking a thing? Do people lockpick? Don't most people have ground floor windows anyway? I don't know. Time is a factor, or it can be. Yeah, but I have a feeling that that's not real. Like, I have a feeling that this is one of those things, because that's the kind of take that would have people going like, back in the days when nobody had security systems and everyone just left their door unlocked, didn't everyone get robbed every day? Wouldn't every criminal just go door to door stealing everything, and then everyone had nothing? I don't understand how that worked. Well, no, I feel like we're assuming we're pretending that the world is Skyrim. We're pretending that everyone on Earth is a Skyrim protagonist and not like a human being, you know? Well, 2 locks takes longer to pick than 1 lock, which increases the detection time. And, like, yeah, anything that's not bolted down can get stolen. Serial killers love unlocked doors. I feel like it's fake. I'm sorry. I feel like it's fake. Society survived people having their doors unlocked for a bajillion years, all right? I feel like we need to go back. Everyone is so afraid all the time. And the fear causes more problems than the actual danger does. Every white woman thinks they're going to get sex trafficked off the parking lot of a Target in Wisconsin because of their fear. And then they vote Republican, and then Republicans pass the bill that it lets you rape children or whatever. And then actual people do get hurt. The fear causes more problems than the actual safety. Or lack thereof, I guess. Counterpoint, nobody in the 1300s made TikToks about the devious licks from your neighbor's apartments. You don't know. You weren't there. You don't know that. Is your door unlocked right now? My door is open. That's how committed I am to my position. I'm actually streaming this from the lobby room, from the foyer in my room, and right there is an open door. Neighbor just walked by. Can I come in? No, I'd shoot you. Isn't it freezing then? Hence the thermal. No locks would reduce housing costs. Yeah, what are you guys? A bunch of fucking NIMBYs? Mamdani's going to build 80,000 new apartments a year, and they're all going to have no locks because the lowered regulatory burden is going to reduce costs. A locked door is the bike lock of home security. Yeah, it kind of is. Like bike locks are pretty fake, right? Like if a person wants to steal your bike, they just need bolt cutters to get through any bike lock, basically, except for one of those absurd ones no one uses, but they make YouTube videos about. So everyone can go like, yeah, now no one's going to take my bike, but no one actually buys them. Not bolt cutters, it's angle grinders. I'm pretty sure a bolt cutter could get through most of them, but like, sure, angle grinder too. You'd be surprised a lot of bike locks have diamond filament cores. When you're breaking a lock, I don't think you're trying to shatter the core. You're trying to shatter the loop, right? If I had I've never stolen a bike before, but if I had a pair of bolt cutters and I was, yeah, the shackle, thank you. I was looking down the lock, I would not think I need to go after the largest, fattest, strongest part of this contraption. It's the same with cars. Locks only do so much. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder, like, do people lock their doors in like Switzerland or the Netherlands or whatever, one of those really safe countries? Does everyone just leave their shit unlocked over there? I don't know. Yeah, but they have woke. Here's my thinking. Okay, final point. I feel like 10 years ago, nobody had Ring cameras, but now everyone does, and people talk about it like you're insane if you don't have them. Has life really changed between A and B? Has the rate of home break-ins really meaningfully gone up or down since that? Like what? So now it's a necessity. What was happening? What influence has this had on the real world? You know? It seems to me like the only thing that's really changed is our perception. What we think is necessary. Are Ring cameras that popular now? Yeah, sometimes people online talk about them like, what the fuck do you mean you don't? What happens? How do you know who's at your door? What if the Airbnb, not Airbnb, what if the DoorDash guy comes, you know? Oh, I don't know. I guess maybe if I like ordered DoorDash 30 minutes ago, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a knock on the door. You know, it doesn't seem that. What if someone knocks and you don't know who it is? You open the door. That's what everyone did for all of human history. That's crazy. It is crazy that people don't, like, people look at you dumbfounded. Somebody knocks, who's there? You open the door to find out who's at your door. Or there's a door, or there's a peephole, maybe. My door doesn't have a peephole. Or you look through the damn window. Or you look through the damn window, sure. But you can also just look through the door. Like, what the fuck do you think is going to happen? You're going to open the door, and there's going to be a guy, like, standing there with a Glock out pointed at you? And what? If you didn't open the door, he would just stand there and then go, and walk away? Like, what? Mentally, what is the, like, if or case here? What's the yes and what's the no? What potential outcomes are we looking to avoid? I have a counterpoint as a Russian. It can be a draft officer there and they need to know I'm not home. Okay, well, your people can't afford Ring cameras anyway, so. Yes, we can. I lived in Moscow. Oh, you lived in the one city. This is just objectively false. Rates of burglary have dropped drastically over the last decades. That's not because of Ring cameras. That's because all crime has dropped since the 1990s. That's not a Ring camera thing. Yes, it's because of Ring cameras too. How can you prove that? Wouldn't the burglars just go after the houses that don't have Ring cameras? It's not like they have a 100%. I don't think that's true. I think you're making that up. I think that the general rate of crime has just dropped. It probably doesn't help that since COVID, everyone's indoors all the time anyway, right? It looks to me like the rate of burglary went down after 2020, and that's probably because everyone fucking works from home now, you know? Burglars used to be able to just go anytime from like 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., walk right in. Now, 1/3 of the time, they approach a house at 2 p.m. and they hear a live streamer inside, or like an OnlyFans girl talking to her chatterbait audience or something. You know, it's everyone works from home, so when the fuck are you gonna do a burglary? It definitely doesn't help that nobody has cash anymore. right? All money is just digital now, right? Nobody, I'm sure it used to be like, oh, you break in, here's like a little vault, not a vault, they like there's like a, I don't know, jewelry drawer. I don't know. Do people have jewelry now? Who knows? Even if you steal a TV, it doesn't even cost that much a resale amount. That's true. Yeah, it'd be like, oh man, we got it. We got the 48-inch plasma. What is that worth on resale? Oh, like we would lose more money on the gas that it would cost to transport it to the fence than we would get from the sale. I don't know. It's almost like the best way to prevent crime isn't by upping surveillance and policing, but rather to just adjust the conditions of living to make crime less enticing. I don't know. One of the reasons why criminality corresponds so highly with inequality, like income inequality, right? Where you have people who have very little and people who have a lot, and that kind of ups it ups the returns. You all know what I'm on about, right? What are you going to do, Vosh, when you're robbed and your entire fridge and pantry is empty? Oh, my entire fridge. Oh, no. Not my 20-pound brown cow roast rice bag from Costco and my gigantic stack of tuna from Costco and my peanut butter from 2023. Genuine question. If wealth inequality correlates to increased crime, how do we explain the current lowering crime rates with the skyrocketing wealth inequality? That's a really good question. I think this is like a very specific modernity thing, right? I think that inequality correlates to crime across all countries for literal centuries. But right now we're seeing a shift. And the shift doesn't disprove the prior. The shift just adds an additional variable, you know? I think there's a lot that goes into it. Part of it is that very wealthy people no longer have their wealth in like a liquid form. You know what I mean? Like it used to be, if a rich guy was walking through a bad part of town, he would have like a nice wallet and a nice watch and blah blah blah. Really obvious stuff like that. But a lot of rich people now look and dress and act indistinguishably from poor people and vice versa. So it's kind of difficult to get like an immediate read on class distinctions. And also it kind of feels like the omnipresence of smartphones makes it more difficult to get away with crime in general. I don't know. I'm actually interested. I do think there has been like a fundamental shift since 2008, and it's because of the smartphone. I think that a lot of people agree with that. I don't know how much data there is supporting it. I do think though that the inequality thing is still like a track. You know what I mean? It's just the equation has changed, and I don't know how the variables have shifted. I think a lot of it has to do with proximity. The wealth and poverty are increasingly segregated to an extent. To an extent, I don't know. I don't know. It's complicated. Well, cybercrime is one of the few crimes increasing globally. Do you think that like over time these dynamics are going to shift even more because all of the tastiest crimes are legal right now? Like every day there's 57 new openly corrupt rug pull schemes being orchestrated by the White House and their affiliates. All of the crime is like wealthy people. All of the crime is legal now, and it's legal in the form of like, how do we take advantage of unregulated markets to siphon wealth out of the working class into the pots of like a couple of wealthy people who keep trading it around in this big sociopathic like Squid Game bullshit they're playing, you know? Um, I don't know. I mean, we'll talk about that today, I guess. Also, now you can just open an OnlyFans. That's true. That's true. Yeah, a burglar might break in to kidnap or kill. Why would they do that? That's illegal. They can't do that. The overemphasis and surveillance just pisses me off sometimes. It really shifts people's focus away from the worst crimes too. It's like that whole, fucking vast majority of times that a rape is committed, that like to a woman, the woman knows the guy who did it. But then everyone talks about rape like it's a back alley kind of thing, like, oh, some guy's gonna jump you in an alleyway or something. It's like, well, how many social resources are we exerting towards putting cameras in the back alleys, and how much effort are we not putting into whatever the hell it is that makes men rape women when the guy knows the girl, Like I feel like we're drawing attention away from by far the more prominent element of the dynamic, right? The more potentially dangerous and socially deleterious one. Speaking of surveillance, the UK is pushing public facial scanning alongside digital ID. They've been a bit of a They've been they've been on that one for a while. I'm not advocating for a surveillance state, but I do think you should lock your door / get an alarm system. I feel like it doesn't do as much as people think it does, and I feel like the widespread perception that it's necessary to do those things probably causes more social harm than the actual security does prevent. But that's just my guess. Kind of like how everyone knows that fire alarms in residentials are more harm than good because all they do is beep when you're air frying something. So everyone just takes them out, and then when the fire happens, they've already taken them out, so they don't know. Maybe somebody should invent a fire alarm that doesn't go off when you cook something in the air fryer, even if you have the fan on. Yeah, real boy who cried wolf. That fire alarm that's desperate for attention. There are actually better fire alarms that are optical and have less of that problem. Yeah, well then more fucking landlords should install them. All right. Security bullshit. Why does my desk feel like it's a little low? Why wouldn't you lock your door? Honest question. I don't know. Why did my grandparents not lock their door for like 60 years? They could. The door had a lock. I guess they just didn't feel they needed to. Where they live, Florida. The gators. Gators can't reach the doorknob. They're too low to the ground. And coincidentally, murder rates were higher back then. Interesting, right? Yeah, but I don't think murder rates were higher in sleepy Floridian suburbs. I think they were higher in like areas that were ravaged by the drug war. I don't think those factors necessarily correlate. I don't think people kept their doors unlocked in the unsafe areas, thus increasing the amount they were murdered. And that was why when people started locking their door, I think people were locking their doors in New York City in like 1987. It's so difficult to track, like in a criminological sense. There's so much shit you have to account for. Locking doors became more common after the Night Stalker said he didn't go into locked houses. I don't know what you're talking about. Also, like, if a serial killer wants to kill your children, like, really badly, he can probably just do it, right? Like, if they're a serial killer and you lock your door, I feel like if he really wanted to kill your kids, he could get, like, it sucks, but I feel like you can't, your house is not like a fortress. It doesn't have a moat. Also, I don't know who the fuck the Night Stalker is. Also, this is the shit. This is why parents all stopped letting their kids go outside, and now every single child is autistic because they're raised by iPad screens. It's crazy. It used to be every cul-de-sac. There was a Ed, and Eddie episode playing out there. You know, kids were running around playing hoop and ball, hoop and stick, you know? And nowadays nobody ever leaves their house, so everyone's paranoid and nobody can talk to each other and so on. Oh my God. It's bad out there. I wasn't allowed a smartphone until I was 15. You have good parents. Probably. I don't know. Maybe they beat you. I don't think you, Gen Z, and younger millennials went outside. No, we didn't. I'm not saying... I didn't say I went outside. I was after that shift was in the 90s. I would need to be about 10 years older for me to have had the opportunity to go outside. Like when everyone was. I can't give my Japan facts on this topic because it would make it look like I agree with everything you just said. Sorry, Vivian. It's okay, Masaigo. I appreciate you giving me the disclaimer on that one, you know? Your refusal to share the data on this one, the Japan data, the Japeta, actually provides more information than any number of you know, quotes or anecdotes. Coincidentally, Vosh, back then, when kids were less looked over, they went missing or were found dead a lot more often too. See, no, I don't think that A is because of B. Crime rates in general, all over, were higher back in the 1990s. The idea that, like, we need to raise every child in, like, an iron fortress and never let them socialize or interact, and every interaction with every other kid has to be, like, prearranged by the parents, and you have to meet them and have dinner first, and then everything has to be... You have to, like, scope out the play area to make sure... It's insane, and there's a reason everyone's neurotic now, you know? I genuinely think... And pardon me, I'm not trying to do, like, Return with a V shit, but I think if you went back and got, like, a 17-year-old from... like 1990 and pulled them into today and had them interact with the 17-year-olds of today, they would effortlessly mog every single 17-year-old today because they just have like basic social skills that no one today has. Like everyone today would come across as like a nebbish, neurotic, little weird screen freak nerd, and they would just be effortlessly social and athletic in ways that no one could keep up with. And that's sad. And there's a real like psychic cost being being borne by this. And I'm not saying we shouldn't take people's safety seriously, but when you're letting concerns about security get in the way of letting people live like normal lives, that's a real fucking issue, man. There's like real psychic damage being done to like all young people, basically, like all young. It's not just like a small subset of the population or whatever. It's like all of them. It's crazy. Every parent is a helicopter parent by default now, essentially, because all the kids are always locked in. And where the fuck do you even go? Are malls even a thing anymore? Do kids go to malls? I feel like if somebody reinvented the mall today and they were attended and people went there, most parents would be like, do you really let your kid go to the mall themselves? You let them walk there? That's crazy. That's like a 25-minute walk, and then what? They're there? There could be older men there. What if somebody abducts them? And it's like, it's the mall. It's the mall. It's the fucking mall. What are kids supposed to do? Like, ever with their time? Mall security will kick out groups of unsupervised kids. That is fucking insane. That is insane. That's real death of civilization shit right there. Oh, that group of like high school students walking around the mall. Sorry. Everyone 17 and younger requires an adult chaperone to walk around the mall. The mall. Actually insane. I can't imagine. Being a kid now must suck. Must be awful. Yeah, you can generate like AI videos of your homeroom teacher getting melted in a vat of lava, I guess. But apart from that, it's gotta suck. In Japan, because of transits, kids can travel and do so with parents. Yeah, all right, my side. Yeah, I know. I've been to Tokyo. Everyone's walking around. There's no crime. Yeah. You have to, part of growing up is that you have to be able to fuck around and find out. If you're like a young adult, like 13, 14, like, you know, a teenager or whatever, you have to be able to like wander around, make mistakes, get a little bit lost. That's all part of the experience. That's all part of the, you have to, how can you possibly grow into like a functional adult if you have no experience with that kind of behavior? Did you do that? Yes, I did that. Absolutely. Take the bus down to downtown LA and just go wacky mode around Chinatown, you know, Union Station, around Skid Row. Like you have to be able to make you have to make judgment calls yourself, and if you fuck up sometimes. You have to you know, try to be safe and stuff, but that's life. Life carries with it innate risk. Wasn't there a mom in the US who lost custody because her kid played in her front yard when she was inside? Yep, there have been multiple cases like that. Yeah, of like Child Protective Services being called. I remember one where CPS was called because a guy left his kid at like a McDonald's for an hour while he did a job interview. Like just at like, not like abandoned the kid, but said, hey, I'll be back in an hour. Here's like a McDouble or whatever, and some fries. Just chill for a bit, okay? And the kid was sitting there, and the people at the McDonald's were like, oh, are you on your own? You, a 10-year-old, are on your own? This must be like rape or something. We need to call the police immediately. It's the surveillance state. And you don't think survivorship bias factors into this at all? I don't know what you want. Do you want like everyone to live in a pod? Like, your question implies that there's no value at all to what I'm saying. I don't understand what the alternative is. Like, everything has to be maximally safe. How do you live? The truth is this: even if going back increases crime, that's a fine trade-off. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Even if the crime or like injury rate or whatever increases a little bit, it's probably better than all humans living like pod people. Yeah. You can't, because otherwise the argument you're making, it's like the anti-Benjamin Franklin argument, right? You're essentially saying like, I will accept any loss of freedom if it marginally increases my safety, which is probably not good. And that does lead to more harm in the long run, you know? Especially because there are societies like Japan, Masaigu, where people get out like a lot more and crime's a lot lower. So I feel like we're headed in a bad direction in both, you know. Do you not think helicopter moms contributed significantly to the decrease of violent crime? No, no, I don't think there's a correlation between those factors at all. Not even slightly. In Japan, crime is illegal? Fuck! Why didn't we think of that? Vosh defending leaving a 10-year-old alone at McDonald's is a big L tape. What the fuck, man? The guy had CPS called on him. He just had to like leave his kid there for a bit while he did a job interview. It's a fucking McDonald. Do you think like the McDonald's rapist is gonna run in there and like fuck the kid at the table? What do you like? What are you thinking about? It's like people say, okay, how old can a kid be before you can leave them home alone overnight? I feel like nowadays people would unironically say like they have to be an adult or they have to be like 16 or something. How old are you? No younger than 31. You should fear the McRapist. You should fear the McRapist at any age. I was walking 4 miles to grandma's alone when I was 5. Haven't you seen the movie Home Alone? I feel like that movie probably did measurably increase the amount of like paranoid helicopter parent bullshit. I think children would be doing this if the US wasn't a low trust society. I'm just saying there are downstream consequences to this being a low trust society. And nobody wants to admit it because you guys are in the soup too. It's like asking a water how fish asking water asking a fish how water tastes. Fuck. Fish water, okay? I'm like, all of this paranoid helicopter parent surveillance state, CPS getting called on your kid if they play outside without you bullshit, is turning everyone into a neurotic asshole. And you guys, parentheses, neurotic assholes, are like, no, that's just normal. I think leaving kids alone is a safety risk because the kid might do something stupid in the house. Yeah, but like life is a safety risk. I don't know. See, I don't get the low trust thing. In my time living in Moscow, I don't feel anything but low trust is the vibe, but letting me and other kids the time going around like 13 was fine. Kizawadi, your situation is different because Russia is a low trust society, but you all also don't value your own lives. I've seen the bungee jumping videos. So you're in a weird, like, you don't trust each other, but you're also like, if you or the people you love die, you're like, eh. So your dynamic is different and perhaps not, shouldn't be like replicated in other countries. 20-year-old Gen Z here, literally 5 years ago, my mom wouldn't let me go outside to go skateboard with my friends, literally people she knew. To see that to me is like, no wonder you're a woman, right? You got fucked up in the head. That is insane, but I feel like it's relatively common now. Maybe not like common, but I think some amount of trespassing on people's property should be legal. Yeah, if you're like on the lawn or whatever. Um, the pink dots like that joke. Good job. Thank you. I thought it was pretty funny too. All the orange and yellow and green dots being like, I don't know about that one. Shut up. I really want to catch you when you're on these rants. I don't believe what you're complaining about is established fact. Wait, what I'm complaining about is an established fact. Are we doing vibes and sensationalist news stories on this, or did you verify somehow that kids don't play outside anymore? Yeah, kids don't play outside anymore. So this is a very like you do not, you walk outside and you live in the shadow of the Roman ruins and you wonder if it was shaped by gods or giant people a million years ago. Like you have no idea how different the world was. What about the children I keep seeing playing outside? I don't know about your personal life experiences. People absolute 100% young people today play outside way less. You can just Google. I'm not, this is to me, I mean, for one, I'm pretty sure we have looked at data on this before, but for two, it's so self-evidently true. I don't even need to, I'm glad you live in a neighborhood where people are more social. Like, I think that's cool. Lower than ever. Only 1 in 4 children play out regularly on the street compared to almost 3/4 the grandparents' generation. That's insane. A 2/3 reduction in a lifetime. Children today have been reported to stop making noise, playing ball games, climbing trees, playing outside. Parents say they fear irritating neighbors if their children play outside in the street. It's only going to get worse too now that nobody has kids, right? Nobody's fertile. So why would young people ever play outside if there are no other young people in your entire neighborhood to even potentially play outside? It's going to snowball the amount of social anxiety in kids. I think it's already happened. Isn't the average young person today like incapable of picking up the phone when it rings? When asked to draw their trip to school, parents, children who walked to school drew a more vibrant picture than those driven in a car. It's not just children, it's everyone. But yeah, it's kind of like a microcosm of the dynamic, right? Every kid's life now is the drawing on the left all the time in every way. What did you do during the 8 free hours you had last Sunday? What did you do with that day? Some kid from the 1990s. Oh, that some Calvin and Hobbes shit. Oh, I went out and I played and I did this and I went here and so on. And then over on the, nowadays, kid from 2025. Well, yeah, I spent 8 hours playing video games. Like the same video game. I think people love Stranger Things so much because of that desire. For Israel! Did that work on you? Was that how he said it in the show? I haven't watched it. I saw the first 2 seasons, and the second one was worse than the first one. I'm not watching any more of that shit. 41% of children have been told to stop playing outside, either by their parents or other adults, such as neighbors. That's crazy. Cringe reactionary media take? Come on. You're not doing video games any favors by pretending that it's just as healthy for a kid to spend their Sunday playing the same video game indoors than it is for them to have, like, adventures outside. You're not really doing the... like, people think movies and TV shows are art, but I think most people would agree that if you sat inside on a Sunday and did nothing but watch 8 hours of The Bachelor, you would probably also be... Like, people would also side-eye you a little bit, right? There are, like, positive or negative ways of engaging with different forms of media. Bro, it's not easy getting your kid off the computer. It's a goddamn effort. Yeah, I can't imagine how difficult it is like, having kids these days, you know? I feel like you have to spend all of your time trying to undo what modernity is trying to do to them. Damn, what a fucking depressing topic to open with. Jesus Christ. It's really bad. I feel like it does to a large extent explain, like, how fucked the political environment is, you know? We're starting to enter the world where even the people in politics were raised, like, after this era of mass brain damage, mass neuroticization started to take place. Not Gen Xers quite, but like early millennials. Early millennials would start to fit in this, you know, in this category. We'll get there. I don't think it's that bad. It's pretty bad, man. Everyone's fucking everyone's mentally ill now. Everyone has autism. Less bad than CNN partnering with Kalshi. Yeah, but that's kind of the same thing, isn't it? It's all part of the same thing. I don't think it's that bad either. Yeah, well, of course you wouldn't. You all fucking grew up playing video games indoors all day and never going outside, so to you, again, it's like the fish and water thing. Do you think you could have grown up without video games? So here's the thing, right? And this is not me trying to say I'm better than you, but up until me graduating high school, which was in 2011, my memory of playing video games overwhelmingly, not entirely, because there were some games I played on my own. Like, I remember I really enjoyed StarCraft and Diablo 2. But the main memories that I have of playing games for the first nearly half of my life was split screen multiplayer, where my friends would come home with me and we would all huddle in my bedroom and we would play, the classics, Halo 2, Smash Melee, whatever the fuck. I don't remember my days and days of playing Age of Empire 2, I'm sure I enjoyed them at the time, but what I remember was playing Mario Kart, GoldenEye, Guitar Hero, And I just don't think young people these days are doing that anymore. I was at the point where I got to do both. I had times where I was like, yeah, today I think I'm just going to spend fucking 12 hours playing StarCraft. And I had days where I hung out with my friends, and some of those memories got locked in here, and a lot of them didn't. But nowadays, I don't think people are even getting those. I don't think a lot of young people are getting that choice. Which would you say was more enjoyable? You know what was more enjoyable, Jesus. You know perfectly well what was more enjoyable. Look, I love StarCraft and Diablo 2 and everything, but you know what's stuck in my head. No, I don't. The couch co-op was more enjoyable. Playing with friends. Playing with the boys. Yeah. But I don't think that's a thing anymore. I mean, a lot of modern games aren't even made with, like, couch co-op in mind. Hundreds of hours of League, but I still remember every time I went to my friend's house in school to play COD. Yeah? It's the novelty. Your brain is a sponge that only retains new scents. You have to experience new things. And there's near endless novelty in hanging out with people you care about. But if you all called in sick to school or work and spent the rest of the day playing League, you know how that day would go. You know how it would go? It would go down easy. It would go down smooth. Would you remember it a week from now? Probably not. Maybe that explains the anhedonia. Shit's not good for your brain. Is the solution seriously to touch grass? Yes! Everyone's been saying it for like 10 years. How many times? Yes! It always has been. If you, especially as a young person today, and if you're watching this right now and you're 15 or 16, you are so neuroplastic, it's insane. I'm I'm locked in, okay? I'm never learning another language. It's over for me, etc., okay? I'm pretty happy with where I am, but you can exceed me by like a mile and a half, easy peasy, okay? If you, especially in this social environment, if you just put a little bit of effort into cultivating your own social reality, and trying to experience new things and go into and learn and explore a little bit, you will fucking mog your classmates. I feel like the world, especially for young people, it's becoming more and more bimodal, where the vast majority of people are. And I apologize, I'm not trying to engage in, and I'm not trying to do like idiocracy rhetoric. The vast majority of people just suck. Know nothing, no curiosity, no ambition. They think there's no point in trying because trying is uncool, for one. And for two, it's like, what's the point even, right? AI meat puppets, right? Like serfs, peasant people, right? And on the other side of the bimodal divide, you have people who understand that's the direction everything is going in, and they're fighting like hell to avoid it. And these people are going to be the real human capital in the future, right? I mean, these people are, you want to be on one side of the fence, not the other. Look, all I'm going to say is this. There is a reason why even the tech moguls push AI on you, and then you read about their lives, and they're like, yeah, I don't let my kid use a smartphone. Many such cases. Oh, no. You should ask Grok everything. But no, I have a specialized, like, like internet free environment for my young people, for my children, and they go to special classes that teach them skills that, well, they are not going to rely on AI. There's a reason they know. Why we spent an hour on this? Because this is like the most important thing, basically. It's the most important thing. It's very, very important. Has that not always been the case, though? Unambitious people might have been more productive, i.e. work a dead-end job. The highlight of their day is going to some shitty community bar. Listen, if the highlight of a person's day, like a regular prole's day back in the 1980s, was to go to the same shitty community bar in the past, that person unironically mogs 90% of you. You're telling me that the highlight of their day was going to a shared social space, a third place where they could meet people, new people, have novel social experiences, talk to people, engage in conversation? You suck. To you, that would be like a daring once-a-month trip. He did that daily? He just did that every day for fun? And meanwhile, you're like, okay, today's the day I'm going to go to a new place. I'm going to talk to one person at the bar. And then you go over there and you're like, hi, do you... fuck, and then you run out. Like, that's you. You're telling me the average prole back in the day? No, trust me, okay? We are getting stupider and less social. You know the Flynn effect is done? There was a period of time during which the average IQ of the general population was increasing significantly generation after generation. You know that's done? We finished. It's stopped. I have a feeling that trend is going to reverse over time. We did it. Yay! Yippee! Isn't it rude to talk to strangers and never understand why you would talk to a random person out of the blue? Listen, I'm not saying, like, if you're a guy, you should talk to every hot girl in the bar and be like, hey, what's up, or whatever. But in my opinion, talking to strangers is why God put us on this earth. And if you are the stranger and you don't want to be talked to, you should stay inside. Look, I'm not saying if there's a girl at the gym with a fat ass and she's got her earbuds in on the treadmill that you should go up to her and try to strike a conversation while she's working out. But you have to be able to talk to people. Everyone is a stranger until you meet people. Everyone starts as a stranger. The only person who isn't the stranger from day one is your fucking mom who just shit you out. Everyone else you have to... This is why all the stepmom, stepsis shit is so popular on the sites these days. You know why? Because everyone's so terrified of meeting new people. The only relationships they can imagine are with people who came default pre-packaged as part of being alive. I've made this take before, but I think the reason why it's so fucking popular now is because everyone it's like a sexual psychosis manifestation of people's fear of making new relationships. That's really pathetic. Well, yeah, but you know, it's just how people are these days. You said most people suck, so you want your audience to go out and make community with the same people who suck. Yeah, but here's the crazy thing. If you go meet new people, they're also meeting you, and that makes both of you better. You can make your life and the life of people around you suck less. If you like you can pull, none of this is permanent. You can pull everyone out of the sludge with you, you know? I'm 19. Do I still have plasticity or am I fucked? Everyone has plasticity. Yes. Yeah, there's always time. There's always time. You could theoretically stop sucking on like the last day of your life if you wanted to, but probably don't wait that long. Also, you're fucking 19. You're like a child. You probably still wake up with new zits. Okay? Jesus Christ. I'm 13. I'm gonna die alone. Learn a new language. I feel like I still suck at English. I'm gonna keep working on English for a little while longer. Is that okay with you? I think I'm gonna stick to my guns for a bit. To be fair, I think Zoomers today are more likely to be aware of the perils of social media than millennials were in the 2010s. Yeah, but Zoomers today will say shit like, yeah, I know my phone's bad for me, and then spend 8 hours on Instagram Reels. Being aware of the problem and then continuing to engage in it doesn't fix the problem. It just makes you hate yourself more for failing to address it. So, I don't know if we've come across a solution just yet. Delete short form content from your phone, seriously? Yeah, I might be getting to that point. I had a hard time sleeping last night, and I was just scrolling through YouTube Shorts because that's my preferred poison. I know, boomer, whatever. But I'm really into like the home renovation YouTube Shorts. Here's how you do drywall application, whatever. And I looked back at it this morning, and it was like 140 shorts in a row on the history. That's not sustainable. I need to. There's no way to just. Okay, here's the thing. There's no way to remove YouTube Shorts from YouTube on the phone. I think you just have to remove YouTube on the phone. You just have to not have those apps on the phone. You have to go back to like the dummy phone solution. I want to know how that works out for people, by the way, like how reliably that works for them, you know? You can just watch it in a browser. Nobody watches short form content on their browser. I do? Well, that's fucked. I never do. Okay. Sorry. My apologies. I was extrapolating too much. I certainly never have. I have never been on YouTube on my computer and been like, I need to watch a 15-second video. It's never happened to me. No, I mean, you can delete the YouTube app, use the browser site to watch long form on phone. I do like watching long form YouTube videos on my phone. I just need a way to like block short form content in general. Because I don't think there's anything wrong with watching YouTube videos. The short form content thing is particularly bad for your attention span. Just don't click on the shorts. You have no idea how this works. You can turn off shorts, just disable watch history. Are hour-long video essays bad for your attention span? I'm not anti-YouTube. I am a YouTuber. I don't know if you've noticed. I think that there's lots of good shit on YouTube, okay? I just think that none of it is in shorts. There are maybe 2 or 3 content creators I've found who make good informative content via YouTube Shorts. Everything else is just a like infobite promo for the channel where you're meant to either just dump view engagement or watch like the real videos. You know? Don't forget about food shorts. Those have been really good for me. I don't watch food shorts because they always lie about the calorie count. Looking to lose weight? This crispy ground beef tortilla, you know, fucking enchilada is only 326 calories. And it's like, I'm looking at it. No, the fuck it isn't. Don't lie to me. What the fuck? That's easily 600 just from the just from the ingredients in there, okay? Not even including like cooking oil or whatever. All the best food content doesn't even mention calories, Lamau. Well, you know, I'm trying to lose a bit of weight. We should do holy shit. I just realized I just looked in the I just looked in my OBS preview window. I look like ass. I need a shave, a haircut. Oh my god. And like to adjust my color settings. That's crazy. I look like shit, dude. You look fine. No, 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 no. I'm not baiting your. I don't. I'm not baiting your approval. The fishing for compliments. Yeah, woman moment. This is just you. You look normal. Thanks. Think a haircut. Well, I do need a haircut. Yeah. Can't say shit. This is why the trans women watch my content, because they're tired of hugbox shit like this, you know? That's why they go over to TTTT. They go down to Blue Sky and they're like, how do I look here? Everyone's gassing them the fuck up. They go down to 4chan, everyone's talking about philtrum length, you know? Just shave the neck. Yeah, that's traditionally one of the places that I shave, for sure. That's pretty true. Oh, calorie count? You have to calorie count if you want to lose weight. Can you do a course on the different types of men wear and suits and all? I gotta go to court next week. No clue what's appropriate to wear. Fuck. No, no, I can't. You do not need like an 8-hour menswear, like history and menswear course on what to wear to court, okay? Go down to your local Goodwill, find a suit jacket that fits your shoulders and the shirt that has the correct length and fucking neck width, you know. Stack it up in the dressing room, make sure it looks good enough. And yeah, some pants probably also some pants, I imagine, some chinos. Look at my lawyer, dog, my ass ameliorating directly to prison. Do you enjoy cooking content? Fuck no. Dude, okay, how can people who are dieting enjoy cooking content? Because 99% of the time, all you're going to get from it is, that would be nice. What, what am I supposed to do with that? Vicariously? No. Sounds awful. I don't get it, Theta. I don't get it. It feels like No Nut November and you're going to a strip club. You're just like sitting there watching her dance and leaking. What do you like? What I don't understand what the appeal is. I guess unless you're specifically into it. Do you like being hungry? Because I hate being hungry. I think you're overdoing the diet that leads me to burnout. Variety is key. Okay, here's the problem, and this is the last thing that I'm saying before I actually shift topics and we talk about stuff that my editors can work with, so that we all get to eat at the end of the month. Okay. Um, the problem with meal variety for me is if I spend a week like, okay, very efficient calorie wise, very efficient protein wise, tuna slop, you know, here's my yogurt, here's my protein bar, here's my tuna, here's my Greek yogurt, here's my so and so, right? Like all the stuff that I normally eat. What happens if I make a new meal? I'm like, okay, we need to introduce some variety. We need to add some new stuff, you know. Here's a different meal. It's like 600 calories. This is going to be my lunch meal. You know what happens? I finish the new meal and then I go, well, that was good, but I haven't had my tuna slop for today, so obviously I need to eat that as well. That was good, but like now I'm missing the thing that I need. I need the tuna slop right now. So now I've just added more food I have to eat, basically. Do you have autism? No, I'm perfectly neurotypical. That or I have like the mercury equivalent of a cordyceps in my brain that's directing my thought patterns to get me to eat more mercury. I have the Mercury Devil is forming inside of my brain, and it's trying to add more mass to make itself stronger. Public safety team holding up like a bead of mercury on a necklace, and it starts moving towards me. Sorry. We need to do. We need to. We need to. We need to do something here.